Should you sell direct to consumer or should you wholesale your products? For those of you who don't know, selling direct to consumer generally means you're going to start in e-commerce. You're going to fire up a website and you're going to price your product, make your margins, set up your shipping so that you can ship direct to people's house every single day. This means a couple of things. This means your shipping needs to be agile. Either you are going to fulfill the orders in your apartment or garage daily. Hopefully by 3 o'clock every day you'll have a cutoff. Or you're going to have a fulfillment center, ideally in your town or within 3 hours of your house, to where you can go get hands-on products whenever you get shipments. But they're going to fulfill the orders. Now, wholesale, it's not much different from a logistical standpoint, but the fundamentals of the business are much different. In wholesale, you're going to be going after B2B, business to business, right? Direct to consumer is D2C, business to business, B2B. When you're selling B2B, the mindset changes, the pricing changes only slightly. Both can work together and ideally should. But a lot of companies choose one or the other. Specifically, companies that choose wholesale, they tend to lean farther into wholesale than is kind of complementary to direct to consumer. In other words, they go so deep on the wholesale model that direct to consumer falls to the wayside. Because with direct to consumer, you're marketing hardcore every day to the end user. You're learning to speak their language, and that's a great thing. That's a skill you always need in your business. But there's a strong argument that you should let distributors, retailers, mom and pops interact with that customer and handle that sale. There's a strong argument that us as manufacturers, brand owners, product developers, whatever you want to call us, that we shouldn't be as involved with that interaction. And I object to that to some extent. Naturally, right? We need, as owners, to sell our product to people. We need to get our butt kicked. We need to get negative feedback and positive feedback. That's what helps us refine our products. You can get that through wholesale, but it's usually a bit indirect, or it's kind of a kick in the nuts because it's numbers that come in at the end of the month, or a shop that says, hey, we're not going to reorder. You remember the 12 units we bought last month, we're not going to reorder. And now you have to backtrack and find out why. What's not connecting? Why aren't customers picking my product off the shelf and taking a look at it and buying it? What did I miss in my packaging? What value proposition am I not nailing down? So it's going to be hard to discern with this episode if I should get into the weeds of what the two are and how to make them work. I think what is really important today is that you make the choice in your business. Are you going to sell direct to consumer, or are you going to go after wholesale? The best way I can tell you how to approach this is to give you an example of a conversation I had earlier with a gentleman. He signed up for the middle tier of my Patreon, which gets him in the monthly webinars, but I always send people my calendar link when they sign up for that, just to spend 20 minutes with them, just to make sure they have everything they need. And if they're in the right tier, make sure they're connected to the Discord. And he says to me, in your opinion, should I go the direct-to-consumer route or the wholesale route? And to give you some context, he had a product in the event merchandise space. In other words, you know how you go to an event and somehow some guy behind the table turned a 1-cent balloon into a $10 item by folding it a certain way, or a glow stick that would cost you all of $1 on Amazon when you buy a bulk pack now just cost you $10, right? And I love that space. I'm like, hey, that's genius, man. I'm jealous. But he asked me, with this product that I think I could sell for $30 at an event, do you think I should go direct to consumer or do you think I should go wholesale? And immediately I said wholesale. Why? Okay, let's look at what does direct to consumer look like for an event like that. So you sell this, let's call it a glow stick. You sell this glow stick to people when they're at the event and they're in the mood to have a glow stick because they have FOMO because of the kid next to them with the glow stick. That exchange needs to happen at that show. You cannot be at every show, but you can be at a couple trade shows every year, getting in front of the people who stock up for the show. Okay, those are wholesalers. Those could be distributors, wholesalers. I don't really care. The term wholesaler, distributor, retailer, we're going to kind of use that synonymously for this particular conversation. They have their differences, but I don't want to get you guys confused if I call wholesale anybody who resells. Okay, that's a wholesaler for this conversation. I want you to sell to the wholesalers because they can get the product where it needs to be, when it needs to be. But what this means is you need to do some subtraction from that $30 price point. If people will pay $30 for it, and I think they will, you want to sell it to the wholesalers for about $14 to $16. That's going to be the sweet spot. They're going to want you to sell it to them for $14. You're going to try to sell it to them for $16. They know that they can survive by making a little less than 50% profit margin. So they might buy it for $16. Okay, now what does that mean for you? How much do you need to get the product for? As little as possible. Okay, let's put that out there. You need to get it for, I would love for you to get this product for a penny and sell it for $16. But that's not realistic. What I would love for you is to get it at $4. That way you're tripling your money on a wholesale order, on a bulk order, and they could be ordering 1,000 units. That's great. Tripling your money on a 1,000 unit order, that's a big chunk of change that you can put right into the account and have cash flow. What I would accept is like $6 or $7, because at $6 or $7, you're still more than doubling your money. That's healthy. That's fine on wholesale because you're not doing a lot of marketing. The marketing you're doing is the relationships you're building. And generally, this is going to happen at shows. Now, you can mix some digital marketing in there. You can mix some meta ads in there and try to get in front of the wholesalers. But it's kind of a long shot. I recommend being more relational in the wholesale business. And why is that? If you just make a video of how awesome your glow stick is and run that as a UGC video on Meta, it's going to get in front of the end consumers and they're going to say, where can I buy it? You can't tell them you can buy it at the next show in October at X location. You lost the sale. It's not going to happen. It's not going to convert. Or you could tell them to buy it on your site, but they're only going to buy it on your site if they're in the mood for an event. If it's about the 4th of July, if it's about the concert, they're going to it. And no one thinks ahead going into the concert. Let's make sure we have the right glow sticks that we need, right? This is an impulse purchase. So that's why I suggested wholesale. Go to the trade shows, find the distributors, the buyers, the bulk buyers. They're walking the aisles and they know, hey, I can make money off of that at my next show, at my next event. This could be, promotion companies. Promotion companies have purchasing staff on board who want to make sure that products are ready to sell at these events. Individual vendors who go to these events and set up booths, they may only set up 100 units of a couple different items they sell. They would love to be a certified dealer of yours. Sell to them. Great, 100 units, perfect. Now, where would you want to go only direct to consumer? You might want to only go direct to consumer if your product doesn't lend itself well to wholesale. Now, why would a product not lend itself well to wholesale? Well, I can tell you from experience. This is one example of when that might happen. My product, Torque Strap, is minimum 7, oftentimes 10 times more expensive than the options you see at Home Depot. It is very hard for anybody but myself to sell something that's 10 times more expensive to the average consumer. If I put this in the hands of a mom and pop shop and they put it on the shelf with a tag of $49.95, and it's not far from a strap that's $19.95, a set of straps. Does that mom and pop owner have the wherewithal to sell that product? Do they have the sales impact and knowledge of my product to sell it? No. I could sell it if I was there, but I can't be there. Where can I be? I can be in your face on social media. I can be in the videos. I can train one UGC creator to say the right things and do my box crush test that clearly demonstrates the value. I can expand that, I can multiply that, and I can make the purchase make sense. And at my price point, I can justify paying the meta ads, and I can justify paying the affiliates. And if you run the numbers, it all works. It's a system that I prefer because I like to socially engineer, whatever you want to call it, from behind the desk. That's what's fun to me. I am becoming more relational as I embarked on this Inventor journey, and I am going to more trade shows, mostly to film content for my social media, but I am seeing the value in trade shows. And anybody who's been following me for any time has seen my shift from being kind of, oh, you don't need a trade show, it's 2022, 2025, 2026. But F that, because people are getting a little oversaturated on social media, and I think we lost the value of the handshake in the last 5 years. I digress. So one important note I want you to have is which one of these generally, in my experience, is a more successful business. I used to think I knew everything. And one time I was having a meeting with a woman. She was the COO of some product company, but she says to me, or I asked her, why don't you guys sell direct to consumer on your site? It makes no sense to me. You could capture another 20 sales a day, 50, 100, whatever the case is. I don't know what your traffic is on your store. And she said to me, well, the more traditional route for a manufacturer is wholesale. Leave the sales to the people who sell. Leave the interaction to the people who interact. Leave that to the physical brick and mortars to do their job. I'm elaborating, but she basically said, build your business around the model of price it to where it makes sense for you to sell it to a wholesaler and let them resell it. And that got me thinking. That conversation was years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And then I went and consulted with a big company here in Miami for 9 months. I worked with them, helping them revamp their YouTube videos and social media videos. And I got very ingrained in the culture there. And they were also a wholesale model. Different business. They were building luxury items, $20,000 items. But they built a dealer network. They went off the dealer model. And after a couple more conversations, Legends of Off-Road, they're making a new bed insert for truck beds. It's a very expensive, heavy item, serves a great purpose. Consumers love to buy it. But the question remains, should they sell direct to people or should they find a distributor and wholesale? Maybe this is a van rebuilding company. Maybe it's Ford. Maybe it's a big off-road conglomerate like Real Truck, who's a reseller of a lot of different products. And they're kind of stuck in the middle. And they're like, well, is this a direction we should go? Should we go to direct to consumer or should we go wholesale retail distributor? They're starting direct to consumer to understand their customer and to understand what's the price point that people can stomach and to understand and own the narrative. They want to own the narrative of that new product, right? It's kind of the CEO's baby. He's a young CEO, kind of inherited the throne from I'm assuming parents, and now he wants to claim his stake with this new product. So he's going in on direct to consumer. That's because he wants to understand his market better than anybody. But eventually, he will probably switch to the wholesale mentality. That will probably account for most of his annual revenue. And I'll leave you with this. In my experience, the companies that make a lot of money, that really scale, that really grow, that really turn into office buildings that turn into what kind of some of us really want, a fully functioning multi-million-dollar company, shareholders, the board, whatever. They're never a direct-to-consumer only company. They are always a wholesale reseller business model. That's my experience. Now, there's been plenty of cases of direct-to-consumer companies that do perfectly well. Again, this journey is all about your personal choice. If I was advising anybody, I would say, let's build your business from day one to get to the $5 million mark, because I have to retroactively do that now. And I have to do that while holding up this show. And that's a difficult thing to do. And you're going to have a busy life. I don't want you to have to retroactively make fixes to things that you put in place early on like I did. Some examples are the way I design my product. I was just talking on Discord. My product worked direct to consumer, but if it's ever going to get into retail, I have to reverse engineer my product a little bit. I have to take away some of its features because it's too feature rich and it's too expensive. The market just can't bear it. So on the Discord, I was asking people to help me subtract. Hey, do I need this piece? Is this really necessary? Is it dangerous to leave this edge exposed? I used to think it was. I was insecure. And people are helping me on the Discord through that, get through my own imposter syndrome, my own cuckoo-ness, right? So design your product and your business from day one for success. Now, if you have a product that you know is very unique and only you can sell it, and you're more than happy to champion the video production and champion building out an affiliate system of 10 to 30 people who will talk about your product every couple of weeks and give you footage, then you can run it as meta ads and you can get a fulfillment center, fulfill the orders. You can do $2 million a year and you can have a life like mine. Awesome. Then you can start a podcast and you can help people, get out of their day job. That's kind of the minimum I can guarantee anybody that follows the show. If you listen to me, you're going to get out of your day job. There's a chance if you listen to me, you'll build a company far more successful than mine ever will be. And I would love that. That's my hope for you. There's also a chance you're going to find out this journey's not for you at all. And I want to help you make that realization too. I can't change your mind on something you don't want to do. And I'm not here to shame you if it's not for you, because I have much more respect for a person who knows when to bow out than a person who doesn't know when to quit. If you need help making that decision, sign up for the, $29 tier. You probably already are if you're watching this. And we'll schedule that free meeting where I get to know you. And then we'll get you in the weekly webinars. I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch, but you guys know I can only help so many people. And I only know of so many different circumstances that you're up against. I'm making a lot of assumptions, but you as a listener right now, I don't know where you are. I can only make assumptions. That's it for this episode, guys. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. I don't know. I just hope this one helped. I'll see you guys on the next one.